Today we're going to look at multiplying fractions by whole numbers. Now it's important to remember that when you multiply a fraction, you can only multiply a fraction times a fraction. You can't just multiply both of them by 5 or anything crazy like that. So we need to turn 5 into a fraction. Now I know most of the time we look at wanting to keep the denominators the same, and so you might think, okay, well, 25 fifths would be 5 written as a fraction because, of course, 25 divided by 5 is 5. And that is true. However, with multiplication, we don't have to have the same denominator. So the nice thing about this is I could use 25 fifths, and that would work. But I don't want to because I'm likely to make a mistake. If I used the simplest form of a fraction of 5 as a whole number, it would just be 5 over 1. Because, of course, 5 divided by 1 would equal 5 whole. So I want to use 5 over 1 instead of, say, 25 over 5 or 15 over 3, whatever. I want to use the easiest numbers I can. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3 fifths times 5 over 1, and with multiplying, as we learned in the previous video, 3 times 5 is 15, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now we know this is improper, so I can't just give 15 fifths as my answer. But we also know that every fraction is a division problem. So to get this in the right form, I'm going to take 15 and divide by 5. And of course, 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. I have no remainder. So 15 fifths is equal to 3 whole. And that's my answer. Let's take a look at another one. I now know I can just put 7 tenths times 9 over 1. That's going to work out for me. So 7 times 9, of course, is 63, and 10 times 1 is 10. Now I want to divide my 63 by 10. 63 divided by 10 is 6, and 6 times 10 is 60. I subtract and I have 3 left. So let me show you how to use this. My whole number here, or my answer is 6, so my whole number is going to be 6. My remainder is going to be my numerator. And my divisor, which was my denominator to begin with anyway, is still going to be my denominator. I also happen to know that the factors of 3 are 1 and 3, and that 10 is not divisible by 3. So for 3 tenths, my greatest common factor is 1, and therefore I know that 3 tenths is in simplest form. So my final answer here is going to be 6 and 3 tenths. Let's take a look at the next problem. Here I put the whole number in front, and that's fine. We're going to put that 2 over a 1. We're going to multiply it times 1/5, and 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. Factors of 2 are 1 and 2. 5 is not divisible by 2, so the greatest common factor is 1, which means 2 fifths is my final answer in simplest form. And let's look at our last one here. We have 5 times 5 tenths. I'm going to put 5 over 1 times 5 tenths. And 5 times 5 is 25. 1 times 10 is 10. 25 divided by 10. I'm going to end up with 2 and a remainder of 5. So my whole number is going to be 2. My remainder is going to be my numerator, and my divisor is going to be my denominator. Now we also know that we can't have 5 tenths. We should look at that and immediately recognize, but if not, we know the factors of 5 are 1 and 5, and we all know that 10 is divisible by 5. So I'm going to rewrite my final answer, my whole number 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And my final answer here is 2 1/2. Hope this helps you multiply fractions by whole numbers.